Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
A major operation is underway as drug maker Pfizer prepares to distribute the nation's first coronavirus vaccine. That vaccine is on track to reach hospitals around the country Monday. Manuel Bojorquez has the latest.
The massive effort to deliver Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine to hospitals and pharmacies across the nation is underway.
D-Day was the beginning of the end, and that's where we are today.
Distribution of the vaccine is an unprecedented domestic, military, and commercial joint operation. Both FedEx and UPS are set to use special refrigeration in trucks and planes to move the vaccine quickly. With the FDA's blessing, the first round of nearly 3 million doses is set to be shipped Sunday in super cold containers, keeping them around 94 degrees below zero. FDA Commissioner Dr. Stephen Hahn is working to assure the public the vaccine is safe and effective and that corners were not cut.
Science and data guided the FDA's decision. We worked quickly based on the urgency of this pandemic, not because of any other external pressure.
The vaccines will begin their journey Sunday from here, Pfizer's factory near Kalamazoo, Michigan. Hospitals nationwide are preparing to give the first shots, likely to healthcare workers and the elderly most at risk.
We really want to treat this vaccine as the liquid gold that it is, because it's really the only tool that we have right now in our toolbox to cure this disease.
So far, this disease has killed more than 1.6 million people globally, including almost 300,000 here in the U.S. Manuel Bojorquez, CBS News, Kalamazoo, Michigan.
The Food and Drug Administration is expected to review another vaccine from the drug company Moderna next week. Healthcare professionals say the hope of more vaccines becoming available in the near future will increase patient confidence. Infectious disease experts say the Moderna vaccine will likely become available in the United States for the first priority group about 2 weeks after the Pfizer vaccine rolls out. By the middle of next year, experts say they believe the world will have access to 5 or 6 different COVID vaccines. At that point, they say the U.S. will likely have 3 options. Doctors say the later priority groups will have more of a choice when it comes to vaccinations.
Right now, the choice is whether to get it or not. And 6 months from now, it'll be okay. I've gone beyond deciding whether to get the vaccine or not. Now I actually have a choice of 3 different preparations.
Dr. Mateo says at that point it will likely be as a much easier decision. He says we will have the information from the preceding 6 months and a larger sample size of people that determine late side effects. After a stream of warm and dry days, the winds are changing. Summer Schnellbach is here with this weekend's conditions to let you know when to expect some snow and just how much we could get. Summer?
Katie, it's kind of been a gray and gloomy start to the weekend after very mild air and sunshine was with us for much of last week. Playing out our tower cam time lapse, you can see those clouds did not go anywhere, and they are still hanging rather tight tonight, increasing out of the south and west. And that will be the trend throughout the rest of the night and overnight. The clouds, though, have kept our temperatures relatively steady in the upper teens and low 20s all afternoon. And I do expect that through the evening, or maybe temperatures could increase a degree or 2. Tonight in Fargo, your sunset was at 4:38. Temperatures will stay right around that 21, 22 degree mark. In Grand Forks tonight, the sunset was at 4:36 and very similar temperature trends, but we will be falling into a few teens as we head towards morning. We can expect teens for highs later on this week. I'll let you know when we might expect much chillier temperatures to enter the forecast.
All right. Thank you so much, Summer. This is video of an early morning chase that landed a 21-year-old Fargo woman in jail. Police say Tanisha Salazar stole a pickup from the Holiday gas station off of 45th Street Southwest around 9 last night. Officers saw the pickup several times throughout the night and say Salazar sped off every time. After 6 this morning, officers found the truck and stopped Salazar at 43rd Street South and Main Avenue. Salazar was arrested on multiple charges, including theft, fleeing, reckless endangerment, and 3 warrants. Police are trying to find a 34-year-old man that they say is a person of interest following a shooting in Alexandria. Jacob Nelson is believed to be involved in the shooting that sent another man to the hospital late last night. Police responded to a report of shots fired in the 1600 block of 7th Avenue East, where they found a man at a party with multiple gunshot wounds. The suspect's vehicle is described as a black Chevrolet pickup with a different color driver's door. It has a possible Minnesota license plate of 877-PMY. Call the Alexandria Police Department if you have any information on Nelson or the vehicle. Luckily, no one was hurt when a gun went off in a Grand Forks home today around 3:30 this afternoon. Officials responded to the 1200 block of South 9th Street. Police learned the homeowner tried to remove their revolver from a small piece of pipe, which caused the gun to go off and hit the basement floor. A request for review was submitted to the city prosecutor for discharge of a firearm within city limits. 2 people are in the hospital after a rollover crash on I-94 this morning. It happened around 7:30 near Oriska. Troopers say a 52-year-old man and a 53-year-old woman were heading west when the driver lost control and the U-Haul trailer began to fishtail. He veered right and rolled into the ditch. Both people were taken to the hospital in Valley City. The crash is under investigation. Trying times as the pandemic continues, especially for an industry trying to stay ahead of the surge. It's the emotional aspect that's changed for funeral homes and families. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie explains how it's impacted the grieving process for those saying goodbye to loved ones.
In 12 years of running Bulger Funeral Home,
this has been the strangest and most difficult year of my career.
An uptick in business, juggling CDC guidelines and adjusting to a more distant approach in a personal business.
Dealing with families during a pandemic has just been, a little extra difficult.
Bulger says the pandemic is affecting some people's ability to grieve. At the start of the pandemic, 10 people were allowed out of service. Now it's limited to 50% capacity.
We have a lot of families that, have had loved ones pass away, especially, months ago or at the beginning of the pandemic, and we're waiting to do their, public celebration. People who had that thought we might be done with this by now.
Like most businesses, they're adapting. They've started live streaming services for families. They're also having private services and offering a public service at a later date for free.
We have a lot of people that come in and they pre-planned their funeral 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And I do see families say, oh, that's not really what Mom wanted.
It's difficult to plan for a time when a loved one passes away. Even more difficult during a pandemic. That's why Bulger says they're doing what they can to make sure families have a chance to say goodbye. In Fargo, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
Bulger says they have several options for those looking to celebrate the life of a loved one. We have those listed on our website. Download the VNL News app, and you can find this story on our homepage. A months-long negotiation to fund the National Guard is over, and now North Dakota will continue to have servicemen and women assisting in the ongoing COVID efforts. The state had been heavily reliant on the Guard to conduct mass testing events, contact trace, and other mitigation strategies. Their federal funding was set to run out next week, but President Donald Trump recently extended their federal authorization.
We had sent a letter of request to the White House asking for this extension and to all the right military channels, but we're grateful to have received the extension because it recognized the importance of the North Dakota National Guard, the role they have played and continue to play in the ongoing COVID-19 response.
Washington, D.C. will foot the entire bill until the end of the year and will then fund 75% of National Guard efforts through the end of March. Still ahead tonight, now that Pfizer vaccine has approval from the FDA, their next hurdle is production and distribution.
A cold front up in Saskatchewan is going to bring us our next round of some light snow and some wind. I'll time it out and potential impact along with a much bigger cool down coming up right after the break.